Hey y'all, how you doing? I believe I said we were going to go live at 8, so I'm just going to sit here and talk with you for a minute and wait for other friends to show up. So just wanted to give y'all a situation report, or what we call in the Army a sit rep, because we can never just use normal words in the Army. Explain to you what's going on with the campaign, why it's going on, what our situation is, and where we're going from here. See, we got one person signed in, and we are going to wait until 8:35, which is 2 minutes from now, to actually begin the report. Appreciate y'all being here. Hey, Miss Sue, it's real good to see you. I hope y'all are doing well. So it's been a real roller coaster the past few weeks. Let me see. I'm going to get the link to the Secretary of State's website up here. Post that right here. Todd, are you putting your screen up? Is that what you're doing?
Hey, Marshall, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm
I
not
can.
getting audio from you.
I'm getting audio from me. Well, how about now?
Try clicking on the settings at the bottom down there with the gear and then going to audio and making sure that your mic in the drop down is set correctly. And when you talk, you should be seeing little green dots come out from the side there.
Yeah, I've got little green dots. Can you not hear me at all? This is my microphone's working fine. This says my microphone's working. Lewis
Okay.
Massey says he can hear me. Miss Sue says
That's good. Thank you, Sue and Lewis, if you can hear
I mean, if
Marshall.
Lewis Massey can hear me,
Oh,
I must be. All
yeah,
right,
you're good.
great. All
Thank
right.
you. And hey, hello,
Miss Sue
everyone.
says hi, Todd.
I'm going to jump out of here and let Marshall talk. Sorry, Marshall.
Todd, Miss Sue says hi. All right, so it's 8:35. Thank y'all for being here. Just want to give y'all an update on what's been going on. As you all know, we gathered more than the required number of signatures to have my name printed on the ballot, and then we almost immediately went into limbo. And I'd like to explain to you why. I know it's been frustrating, and waiting for me to make an initial or a formal announcement and all that kind of stuff. I've made a few unofficial announcements, and each time I've been checked by the Secretary of State. So here's what's going on. We needed, yeah, I know y'all heard me say 8,000 signatures is what we're looking for. The actual required number was 7,843 valid signatures of registered West Virginia voters. Of course, it's just simpler to tell people 8,000, and it's not wrong. Just round it up a little bit to make it easier for people to get their heads wrapped around it. And so we were shooting for 8,000. We recognized that we needed to have some margin for error, so we're shooting above that. We actually got Miss Catherine is on right now, and I hope she'll back me up or correct me on this. I think our total number ultimately was 9,442 signatures that we gathered of the 7,843 that we needed. Now, Catherine will probably jump in and tell me, well, you're missing the ones from August 1st, and that it's actually closer to 9,600 or something like that. But anyway, it was something along those lines. It was considerably more than we actually needed. And we actually, two of our campaign members, were actually gathering all of the signature pages, maintaining physical custody of them, reviewing them, and then actually comparing them to the voter rolls. And then, of course, that's public information. It's not like we're doing anything weird or going into anybody's, computers or anything. We just got the voter rolls from the Secretary of State, which any citizen can go purchase. And we compared them. And then and I say I didn't do any of this because there are people who are smarter and more detail oriented on our campaign team than I am. But they sat down, they compared every single signature to the voter roll. And then what they would do is they would make a spreadsheet for each signature sheet, whether that signature sheet had one signature on it or 10, because that's the most you can put on one. And they would make a spreadsheet that had 10 lines on it. And then each of the signatures that were on the signature page, they would actually print the relevant material, the relevant information. So for each signature on the signature page, you had to sign, print your name, write your address and your birth date, and then your address. So all our guys would do is go in, compare that, and then actually make this spreadsheet that had all of the right information typed out so it was all legible. Because one of the big complaints we had in 2020 was, I can't read that on the voter rolls. This guy's address is 1949 Smith Street, and this looks like 7494 or something like that, and the 4s look like 9s and the 1s look like 7s. And you say, come on, why would they write the wrong house number? Obviously you're misreading it. But this time they didn't have that chance. This time we made sure that they had every bit of information they needed right there at their fingertips. Okay, so we turned into the Secretary of State way more than we needed. And, it was all smiles and thumbs up. And, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you on the ballot. Good job. You guys are a great team. You did well. And, we're all saying, well, thank you. That's fantastic. Look forward to seeing my name on the Secretary of State's website, which I thought I'd posted on here, a screenshot of it. Apparently, I can't post screenshots. Anyway, Secretary of State's website, I'm sure you've all looked at it, the candidate listing. And I said, look, can't wait to see my name listed as a candidate for governor on the Secretary of State's website. And I said, yeah, that's going to happen soon. And then it didn't for a while. And so I called. I said, what's the problem? Have you forgotten me? Is there an issue? And the response was, well, there's been a formal letter filed with us that says that many of your signatures are probably invalid. And well, no. I'm sorry. Let me back up for a second. Initially, what happened was we were told that a vast number of signatures had been invalidated, just a large number of them, and it put us exactly 100 signatures below the number we needed. So we needed 7,843, and 7,743 signatures were validated. We were 100 short. And I called Secretary of State's office and I said, this is wrong. You're just wrong. And we went, hey, Bev, yeah. So we went round and round and round about that. And you all know how much of a pain in the behind I can be when I think I'm right. But see, the simple fact is we had done the homework. We already knew which ones were valid. We knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. We had over an 85% validity rate just on our check. And they had more people, more time, more money, more capability to check these things. So we knew they were wrong. And I wouldn't quit. I kept saying, look, y'all need to recheck your numbers here because something's wrong. And our guy who manages data for us, I called him. I said, look, don't let me make an idiot out of myself. Please let me know if this is really valid. If our 85% is valid, if you're really doing all the things we talked about. And I didn't mean to offend him, but I had to know. And he was very patient, very polite with me. And he says, yes, everything that you've asked me to do, I've done, and I've done more. I've done what I told you I was doing. And these things are valid and they're wrong. I said, okay, if they're wrong, I'm going to go all the way with this. He said, I guarantee you they're wrong. And our team that does that, they said, look, we've gone back and forth sideways. We've been up and down through this, and this is right. We are right, and they're wrong. So I went on and on and on and on and on. I said, finally, I said, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to collect all the people that I know signed the petition, and I'm going to walk down to the county clerk's office, and we're going to each validate our own signatures for the county clerk in person. And Secretary of State's office is like, oh, you mean in your home county? I said, well, starting there, yeah. And then we'll go to all 55 counties, and we'll just have a little parade, walk in the county clerk's office, and validate each individual signature, because that's who we are. That's the kind of people we are around here in the Constitution Party and the Wilson campaign. We will absolutely do it. We are not going to just shrug our shoulders and say, gosh, we tried. Thanks, buddy. So we were preparing to do that. And I got a call back, said, look, please don't do that yet. We are actually talking to your home county, Berkeley County, the Berkeley County clerk. We're talking to them right now. They said they would go back through and check the signatures again because they had a high number of invalid signatures. I said, well, that's interesting that my home county had a lot of invalid signatures because I know the people who signed it. Anyway, of course, Berkeley County is more densely populated than a lot of the counties in West Virginia, and I live here. So, of course, most of our signatures were from this area. These are my friends. I was a delegate here. People know me. So we went through that, and strangely enough, we came back with just enough to put us back on the ballot. Just enough to keep me from rampaging through the rest of the state. Then we waited for my name to be put on the Secretary of State's website as a candidate for governor, and it didn't happen. We waited and we waited. And then I called and I said, what seems to be the problem? Well, the problem is that there is a letter we've received from another party that claims that you don't have the credentials from each of the 55 counties. There are about 30 counties that have not given you credentials, permission to collect signatures in their counties. I was like, it's not my first rodeo, guys. I did this in 2020. I have the credentials. Well, if you can prove that, like, first of all, you're the one making the accusation. You prove that I'm wrong. But sure, I have 54 physical originals in my hand. I will send you pictures of them. And the only reason I don't have an original for the other one, Preston County emailed us and said, look, we're not going to send you an original, but we've got it on file here. If you ever need it, let us know. I was like, why would I ever need it? As long as I got this good copy. So I said, I've got these, and I started sending them in, pictures of them and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, well, it looks like you actually might have most of your credentials. I said, no, I absolutely have all of them, all 55 of them, beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I've had them for a long time. And if the problem is that your county clerks who actually issued these can't find them, there's your problem. If they can't find them in their records, there's your problem. Your problem is not with me. And so we went round and round and round with this. And I said, hey, I'm just curious, who wrote the letter? Oh, well, that's not really relevant. Oh, it's absolutely relevant. It is absolutely relevant who is raising this issue. Well, it's the West Virginia GOP in the name of their candidate for governor. I said, fascinating. Well, you'd figure that people like that would know that I've met the requirements. They would have been watching this whole time, and they would know that I've met the requirements. And it seems that all they're doing is muddying the waters, throwing up impediments, putting out hoops and hurdles, and trying to introduce friction into the process so that they can hold off long enough that we miss the deadline for the declaration of actual candidacy and we don't get on the ballot because they can't beat us. So we went round and round and round about that. And then it was, okay, so you actually do have all 55 county credentials. However, we found 18 that look like they don't have seals on them. Like the little gold stars that kindergarten teachers put on your kids' paper when they draw a stick figure, like those. I said, they don't have them. I said, well, that's fascinating and irrelevant. The law says it's optional. Well, that can be interpreted various ways. No, it can't. It's optional. If I tell you, you can have steak or hamburger, and you say, well, I want chicken, and I say, well, the steak or the hamburger is optional. You say, well, I want steak, and I say, well, you can't have steak. You have to have hamburger. It's optional, right? And that can't be interpreted any other way. Well, the thing is that the law says it's optional, but then the Secretary of State makes their own regulations for the paperwork, and it's got a spot for a seal on it. I don't care. The law says it's optional. We're done here. So then it was okay. So we got this list of 18 that look like they don't have seals on them. Okay, fine. Here are pictures of those 18, and a small number of them do not have seals. Most of the other ones that you think don't have seals, they've got the paper, they crimp the paper and it's got a raised seal, but it's not colored. So you can't see it in the picture, but it's absolutely there. Here, I'll take a picture and I'll circle the seal for you in the picture so you can see it. And that was all well and good. And, that was fine. And we waited and we waited and we waited. And my name was not on the Secretary of State's website. And I called back and I said, why is my name not on the website? Well, we've got a valid complaint and we've just got to work through every bit of it. Okay, well, we've worked through every bit of it. What's the problem now? Well, the problem is that we're concerned that they actually might sue us if we go ahead and declare you a valid candidate. And, we're trying to preclude going to court by having all the information available, all of the evidence available supporting your candidacy up front, so we don't have to go to court. I said, let's go to court, please. I can't afford this kind of publicity that you're giving me. Let's go to court. I'm preparing right now to go to court. Well, no, we don't want that to happen. What we want to do is preclude a court case. I said, I don't. If they want court, let's go to court. Let's fight this thing out. So I said, well, look, what we're doing, Secretary of State's office said, what we're doing is we're contacting each county clerk that gave you a credential that is signed by the county clerk and has a credential number on it. In other words, a document number that's registered in their office, but didn't put the kindergarten sticker on there. We're asking each one of them to, in writing, verify that that actually is a credential that they produced for you. And I said, and what if they don't? Well, if they don't, then we're going to have to assume they're invalid. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to have to follow the law. So anyway, we went round and round and round like that. So I said, well, look, I'm just curious. Does my opponent as a candidate have the right to do this? The answer was no. I said, well, who does? Well, there's only one person in the state government who has the right to challenge the results of an election. I said, and I thought it was the Secretary of State. I said, who is that? And they said, the Attorney General. In his official capacity as the Attorney General, your elected representative, your elected employee, using the assets that you provide him through your tax money. Oh, and by the way, the West Virginia Republican Party, using the money and the clout that their registered voters gave them to deny a citizen of the state of West Virginia access to the ballot after he had earned it. So that's what's really going on. So if you go to the Secretary of State's website, you go to, what is this? You go to APPS, or you just go to sos.wv.gov, then click on elections and candidate information. And you will see that I am listed as the 5th candidate under the governor heading. And we are on the Secretary of State's website. And if you go over just a little bit, you scroll over, and the date that you will see next to my name is July 30th, 7/30/2024. July 30th. When was this actually posted? This past Thursday. When was I advised of it? This past Friday. So let me see. I'm going to look at my calendar real quick. Let me see here. This past Thursday was the 22nd of August. This past Friday was the 23rd of August when I actually got notification of this. Let me see. July 30th, right? And you got the 31st, and then 22 days of August. 23 days from the date that it was determined that we were valid, they finally admitted it. Are you with me? Do you understand what I'm telling you? Now, one final question about this, and then I've got something else I want to tell you all about your wonderful Republican Party, the good guys, the small government, big liberty, low taxes, no government welfare, no corporate welfare, the good guys, right? So let me tell you about them. So, but let me back up a little bit, and there's one other question I want to ask you about this. After all I've told you that they've gone through to keep me off the ballot, and I want you to understand this is a minuscule part of it, just the part at the very end. Right? I can't tell you about all the times I showed up at people's houses or showed up at meetings and had people tell me, well, I was told that you were this or that or the other, that you were a racist, or that, my favorite one was that you had a problem with veterans. I'm a retired combat veteran, U.S. Army infantry officer. Look over here. All right. What problem? Look right up there. You see this? There we go. Right there. That's me and my wife in uniform. What kind of a lunatic accuses me of that? There are things you could accuse me of, but make it make sense, folks. But anyway, apparently, folks from the West Virginia Republican Party are sneaking around telling people bad things about me. Had a lady here in Berkeley County who was going to little meetings and telling people that I was a leftist. Me, the guy that got thrown out of the Republican Party for quoting the Constitution or spouting the Constitution at everybody all the time. And they're going around telling me people I'm a leftist. Madness, utter madness, lies, deceit, corruption like you can't believe. All right, so they have failed to keep us off the ballot. We're on the ballot. So the next question is, if, as everyone keeps telling me, I can't possibly win, if, as everyone has told me for years, you can't fight City Hall, if, as everyone has told me this entire time, you're wasting your time, you can't win, he's got it in the bag, he's got this Black Bear PAC that's giving him $10 million worth of support, you're writing checks out of your personal account, you can't possibly compete with this guy. If that is true, why are they afraid to have me on the ballot? They didn't do anything to the Libertarian. They didn't have a problem with the Mountain Party. They won't even fight the Democrats as hard as they're fighting me. Why? What are they afraid of? All right. Now that that is settled, now that that question is settled, not by my words, not by my actions, but by theirs, by the fact that they found it necessary, they found it an expedient to keep me off the ballot instead of facing me in the arena. If they really were who they said they are, and if I really was who they claim that I am, they would simply allow me into the arena, kick me really hard, and then walk away laughing, kick sand in my face and walk away laughing. But they've been lying the whole time. They're scared silly of us because they know it's not me, it's us, it's you. You're who they're afraid of. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a guy who recognizes the principles and upholds them just like you do. That's the only difference. All right? They're scared. They are scared silly of you. Let's make this happen. Let's make them understand. So, given that, what do we need? How do we win this thing? Well, first of all, we don't live by lies. All right? That's point number one. Now, hang on a second, and let me back up and tell you about something else that happened here in Berkeley County, and also make a little bit of an announcement that I think will make you happy here. So, South Berkeley used to be District 60 when I served it. Now it's District 91. You all know that we redistricted after the 2020 census, federal census. So it's now District 91, and it's shaped a little differently and everything. Well, Don Forst, Republican who supports killing babies and giving your money to Bill Gates and all kinds of other stuff, lost his primary this year to get reelected to be your Republican delegate in District 91, and that's a fantastic thing. Unfortunately, the guy who beat him is he makes all sorts of weird claims that he can't back up. But I'm not going to go into his personal claims. I guess a man can say whatever he wants about himself, but I'm here to talk to you about what he said about me. The first thing he said about me was he started telling my friends here in Berkeley County that I'd endorsed him. I had people call me and say, "Have you endorsed this guy DeSoto?" And I'd say, "I haven't even met him. I don't know the guy. Why would I endorse him?" "I don't know, but he's telling people you endorsed him." And then I showed up at a meeting of over in Jefferson County of some good patriots over there. And as I walked in, I know all these people. I've never met him before. This guy I don't know runs across the room and wraps me in a big bear hug and says, "I'm so glad to see you, brother." And I'm thinking, have I met this guy? And I said, "Okay, well, good to meet you, you know." And you get the idea here, right? The kind of games he's playing. Well, later the word goes around that he is saying that I said that we were uh, um, ideological twins, was the phrase that he used. That he and I were on the same sheet of music. We were twins. Like, I don't know the guy, right? Anyway, he beats Don Forst in the primary, which I figured was a good thing. Don Forst going back home is absolutely a good thing, but I'm not sure this guy being the Republican candidate is good. Meanwhile, we already had a Constitution Party candidate in District 91. His name is Rick Thompson, no P. Rick Thompson with no P. Fantastic gentleman. I think the world of him. And he will be on the ballot here in South Berkeley County, District 91, as the Constitution Party candidate for delegate in District 91. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I really hope that everybody in Berkeley County will look to Rick as their representative and ignore this strange person who says strange things about me and himself, and instead focus their attention on electing Rick Thompson. All right. So all of that to say, get to the point where we actually talk about what needs to happen. Okay. My monitor just got turned off. My monitor is back. This is very weird. I don't know why that happened, but hey, I'm back. My monitor just shut off for some reason. So here we are. I am an official candidate on the West Virginia Secretary of State's website. I should be getting the letter from them that officially announces that in the next day or two. They're supposed to be sending it to me. We're only 3 weeks behind. Only 3 weeks behind where we thought we would be. And not only that, but of course, they had their primary in May, and our primary ends on August 1st. So what is that? May, June, July, so 3 months and 3 weeks behind the other guys. He has $10 million to spend. I don't know how much Williams, the Democrat out of Huntington, has. But here, if you believe what we believe, if you want to uphold the Constitution, if you want to be a part of what we're doing here, if you want to help us win so that all of this stuff that I'm telling you about will be exposed so that you, the people, can fix it because you have all the power, you have all the authority in our state government. If you want that to happen, you need to make me the chief of your executive branch, the chief executive, the governor. You make me the governor, and I will do my job, and I will bring the executive branch of this state under the authority of the Constitution and under your supervision. I will do it. Not because I think you're wonderful. I do. Not because I think I'm smart and wonderful. I don't. But because I have kids. And I love my kids, and I will do whatever it takes to ensure that my kids can raise their kids in a free country. And I've done the analysis. I've done the battlefield analysis. And I have figured out that the decision point for making that happen is having a chief executive running the executive branch of the state government of West Virginia and interacting with the legislature to restructure this government according to the Constitution. If that doesn't happen, we are sunk. I actually tried to find other people who might do it. I tried to get other people to run for governor. There was one guy who did run for governor, who I thought would have done the job very well. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pull a win out of the Republican primary. The man has all my respect, and I wish that he had won. So I could be doing something else right now, because hopefully he'd be running for his second term, but it didn't happen. So here we are. A couple of the other people that I asked to run, they said, "Well, I just can't take on a billionaire." I said, "Okay, well, obviously you're not the guy I'm looking for then." And here we are. It's me. Not because I'm the best, not because I'm the best looking, not because I'm the brightest, just because I'm the one who'll do it. So let's go. Here's what we need. And of course, a couple members of our campaign team are on the chat right now. And if they throw something up, please pay attention to it because they might be guiding you in a better direction. We've got Todd Williams on here, who's our IT guy. We've got Kelly Monk, who is one of our 2 campaign managers. But I don't have. It's a big state. I needed 2 people to help out with that. Got Catherine Moles, who of course will be transitioning from running our signature collection campaign to helping out with getting materials all over the state and helping to coordinate activities and stuff like that. So any one of those 3 has anything to say, they'll type it in here. But basically, here's what we need. I am not going to ask you for a bunch of money. It doesn't matter how much money you give me. I cannot compete with $10 million. We are not fighting that kind of battle. This is asymmetric warfare. All right. So hey, Greg, it's the Ginger Avenger, folks, Greg Roberts. So, and Greg was a big part of our success here, and he's a good friend of the campaign. But here's the short version. We do need money. We have incidentals, we have cost, all that kind of stuff. And frankly, I have spent more money out of my family budget than I should have. So we do need money, but that's not the focus. It's not the effort. Okay. Why do campaigns need money? They need to buy advertising, which is to get their name out there. They need to buy materials, that kind of stuff. So here's what we're doing instead. First of all, I need trustworthy messengers, you, to carry the message. All right. I don't need to, yeah. This is my wife, Julie Barr, down at the bottom, Julie Barr Wilson. And she says funds are appreciated. And I'd like to reiterate, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. But what I'm saying is that's not what our campaign is all about. So please send money if you've got it. We need every penny we can get. And Julie and the team, they squeeze a nickel out of every penny we get. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you've seen them, but we're using campaign signs from a few years back, and we actually correct them by putting colored tape on them and covering up the stuff that needs to be corrected. So yes, funds are appreciated, but I'm not asking you to just write us a big check. I need you for the next 2 months. I need you to take time away from your family, away from your job, away from your weekends, away from your vacations. And I need you to invest them in this effort. Why? Because faithful messengers are more important, more effective, more valuable than shiny pieces of mail, than glitzy campaign commercials. You are authentic. You are real. And if you would, I would like for you, hey, one of you campaign members, please type up the Telegram, the address to download Telegram. Put that up here, please. So what I need you to do is join our Telegram operations group. So Telegram is a chat application that we use to communicate with each other. In the operations group that we have set up, that's where we discuss what we're doing, where I will be, why I'm going to be there, what you can do in your area, whether it's putting out signs, whether it's knocking doors, whatever else, making phone calls, writing letters to the editor of your local newspaper. Look, if I write a letter to the local newspaper, they're like, we don't know who this guy is. He doesn't live around here, but he says he's great. But if you do it, it's, hey, Bob from down at the hardware store likes this Wilson guy. Maybe I should look into it. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't have to be eloquent. They don't have to be, these flowery. You don't have to write, one of the Federalist papers. It just has to be Bob from the hardware store, Sue from the church, whatever, who says this guy's okay. That's it. That authentic message will change everything in your community. So writing letters to the editor of your newspaper, getting them published, helping us out with coordination for events in your area, handing out business cards. Please give us a holler. We'll send you some business cards. Just hand them out to everybody you know. That, you don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just say, Wilson for governor. Look on the back. There's a website. Look him up. And most people will, just because they're curious. That's the sort of thing we're talking about. But what we really need you to do is sign into the Telegram operations page, and all of this stuff will be made clear to you. And, I understand most people are not public speakers. I understand nobody really wants to go. I don't like doing this. Go and knock doors and bother people at home while they're trying to have dinner. I hate doing that, but it's got to be done. It really is got to be done. Um, you know, um, Helping out with putting stamps on things or handwriting addresses, that kind of thing. We need all of that. We need all the help we can get. So what I'm going to ask you to do, instead of trying to assign tasks right here, right now, and anyone who's going to listen later, and anyone who's going to, see this post on my various social media pages, just please go to Telegram. And did any of my campaign team members put up the link to Telegram here? No? Okay. I need one of you to do that. Post a link to Telegram. Todd will put it up where everybody can see it. There we go. Thank you very much. So click on that. It will give you an opportunity to download the Telegram app if you haven't already. It takes a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then go to that link. And Linktree will give you all of our links, and one of those is the Telegram operations group. I was really hoping to just have that one, but anyway, do that. Join us, please. And for 2 months out of your life, engage with everything you've got, and we will change West Virginia forever and build here in West Virginia a bastion of liberty that can become the base of operations for reestablishing constitutional governance and the principles of liberty throughout the United States. 2 months. Asking for 2 months of your time. All right? Treat it like a deployment. Give it everything you got for 2 months. Thank you, Julie. Julie says you can also go to the website and enter contact information. And I believe what Todd just posted there is the actual link I was asking for. And that should take you, I believe, to where you can just sign in to the page. Now, if anybody has any questions for me, I will entertain them at this particular moment. Anyone? Rebecca McCamick says a cheap way to get your message out is have someone make you videos and memes to share around. Madam, that is a wonderful, thanks for putting that up there, Todd. Madam, that is a wonderful idea. We have a few people who actually do that. And what I'd like to do right now is deputize you and everyone else who's listening or will listen in the future to take whatever action you think appropriate to further our campaign message. In other words, you don't have to check with me. You don't have to have permission from the campaign leadership team. Get the message out there. We don't have time to go through some sort of a process. If you want to make a video, by God, make a video and post it. If you want to make a meme, if you want to do an excerpt from one of my interviews or one of my speeches or our podcast or whatever you want to do, or from this video here, please do it. Don't worry about trying to find approval from the team. Just make it happen. Just be a part of the team. We're fairly informal, except for the actual management team, and that was because I needed people who had specific tasks to make sure that we got the signatures we needed. And now we've got 2 months to win this thing. And by God, our message wins. We are the better campaign. And if you'll forgive me, we have the best candidate. The only thing we lack is a platform. You are the platform. You get the word out, please. And you recruit other people to get the word out. All right. The idea that I have to give a thumbs up to everything this campaign does is counterproductive. The idea that I have to talk to every single person who might consider voting for me, I would love to. I love talking with people. Julie will tell you that, but it's counterproductive. What really needs to happen is you need to go out. You go out. You are being sent out. You are the apostles. And I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm just saying an apostle. The word apostle is Greek for sent out. So you're on mission. Let's go. Let's go. Let's make this happen. And if you need anything from the campaign team, I've just told you how to contact them. If you need anything from me, please contact the campaign team because they know how to get a hold of me. And frankly, I am running all over the state and, just kind of catching meals and sleep whenever and wherever I can and trying not to hit any more deer as I did on one of our trips recently. So, if you text me and I don't respond immediately, please don't get upset. I'm often out of cell phone range. I'm often driving. Not ignoring you. I can't keep up with all my messages. So if you really want an answer, if you really want to address an issue, please go to the team. Not because I'm trying to slough you off, not because I don't want to be your friend. I do. All right. But it's because I just can't do it all. And I've got good people around me who will and are very gracious and want to help too. So, any questions, any comments? Thank you, Rebecca, for that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I hope that folks will just jump in and start making memes. I know how important they are. Memes and videos. We got this one crazy guy. His name's Anthony Rifey. Out of he's on the other side of the state, Ripley area, and he makes some pretty wild videos. And they're something else. But I'm not involved in that. This is just a guy who decided to do it because he believes. So just go ahead, just do it. You don't need my approval. You are spreading your own message. It's not my message. I don't have a monopoly on it. Anything else? All right, it is 9:12, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you all very much. Good night.